Hey guys, this is Brian at Obedia, and today I'm going to give you some tips on working with click tracks in Pro Tools. Click tracks are really useful for keeping things in time while you're recording in your audio workstation so that you can know that everything will stay in time with the tempo of your project, and click tracks are real easy to create and use in Pro Tools. So let's go ahead and create a click track. I'm going to click on track and select create click track. Now immediately a click track will be created for me, and if I select in my insert section for this track the click instrument, you'll notice now I have a dialog box which will allow me to change some of the options for this click. Primarily I can just change the volume output levels of the accented and unaccented notes for my click. So real easy to do. If I hit play now, you'll hear my click track. All right, so there we go. Real easy to do, right? Let's say that I wanted to change my click track up a little bit though, and I wanted to get a little more creative with it because maybe it'll help me in my creative process or something like that. This is real easy to do, and you can have some fun with this. I'm going to click on track and again click new in this case, and I'm going to select instrument track as my track type. Click on create, and now I have a new instrument track. I'm going to click on a empty inserts block, go to plugins, scroll down to instrument, and I'm going to select a virtual instrument. I'll go ahead and use Native Instruments FM8. I really like FM8. And I'm going to find a sound now that I like. So I'll go to Mallet Instruments. Let's try and just dig around for a sound here. That sounds good. That could be kind of cool for a click track. So I'll close up that virtual instrument, and now I'm going to click on Setup and scroll down and go to Click/Count-Off. This will open up the options for my click and count-off. Here I can make changes in order to dial in my click a little more directly. I can select if I'd like the click to play during play and record, only during record, or only during count-off. I can also change the note, which is assigned to the accented and unaccented notes, change the velocity and the duration of each of those. But the really cool thing that I can do here is you're going to notice that there's an output pull-down menu. If I click on that menu, firstly I have access to all of the available MIDI output ports that I have on my system here, but you'll also notice that I have my virtual instrument here as a output routing selection, which I can make use of. So I'm going to click on my virtual instrument and scroll over and select channel 1. So now I'm going to send the MIDI output of my click track out to my FM8 virtual instrument. So now if I play back with FM8 active, I'm going to hear FM8 being played by my click track. So there you go. That's really cool because what this lets me do is get really specific about the sound that I would like to use for my click track. So that can be really cool because this allows you, again, to really dial in your click exactly as you would like it. Now, there's one more thing that I can have a little bit of fun with here. Oftentimes, folks wonder if there's a way that they can re-record the audio output of their click track to an actual audio track, and we can actually do this fairly easily. I'm going to click on Window and go into my Mix window. So now I'm looking at my mix, and the first thing that I want to do, of course, is decide which track I would like to send out to a new audio track. So let's go ahead and use that FM8 track. To do this, I'm going to click on the audio output section in the I/O for my track, and I'm going to scroll down to bus. Now I have a list of all my available audio buses here in my Pro Tools setup. I'm going to select my Audio 1 stereo bus, which I have active on my system. And I'm going to go ahead and click on the small fader right here to the right of the audio bus, which I have. I'm going to make sure that that bus is turned up. As long as I've got some volume out on that, I should be good to go. Now the next thing I'm going to do is click on track and select new. I'm going to create a new stereo audio track. Click on create. Now I have this new stereo audio track. By default, its input is going to come from my audio interface, but I'm going to go down to the bus section for the input here under I/O, And again, I'm going to select audio 1 as the input for this track. And I'll go ahead and record enable this. Now what's going to happen is I'm going to be sending the audio output of my FM8 virtual instrument click track, which I've created, out to this new audio track. So as long as I have this track record enabled, I'm going to go ahead and start recording, and you'll notice that now I'm going to be able to actually record the audio output of this track virtually into my new audio track. All right, so there you go. Now I have a new audio region, which has been created by re-recording the sound of my click track, which I created using FM8. So I'll go ahead and mute my two click tracks and play back. And there you go. That is an entirely audio representation of my click track. So you can utilize this for essentially any click track in order to be able to re-record the audio output of your click track. And that way you could sometimes folks need for the click track sound to be sent to a producer, to a friend, or something like that. So you can re-record your click track in its entirety and send it off to a friend. They could make use of that in their production. And this is also useful, of course, for just being able to re-record that sound and do away with your click track and various things like that. So there you go. That's a few tips on working with click tracks in Pro Tools. I hope that you guys found this useful and fun. As always, please stay in touch with me. My email address is brian@obedia.com. You can get me on Twitter at twitter.com/obediatutor and on Facebook at facebook.com/obediatutor. Please keep in touch with me. Hit me up with your audio questions, your music production questions, and give us a call to work with an audio tutor like myself one-on-one 7 days a week, and we will help you to tame your technology and show you how you can get the most out of your digital audio hardware and software. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, take care.